This 17th century philosopher was so controversial, the most powerful institution in the world, the Catholic Church, banned his books. But he wasn't trying to fight the Church, he thought he was helping it. In fact, he saw himself as a faithful Catholic. So, why did they turn against him? What made his ideas so dangerous? We'll get there. But it turns out that's actually the least interesting part of this, because the most interesting part is that his head, the very one filled with those bold and daring ideas, it vanished. That's right, stolen. And trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So stick with me, because as it turns out, a few banned books were the least of his worries. By the end of this video, you'll discover why the Church feared René Descartes, what his famous Cartesian thinking really is, why his books still ignite debate 400 years later, and yes, how his head was stolen. Let's dive in. Paris, 1630s, a cold night. A man sits hunched over a wooden desk, quill scratching furiously. His name? René Descartes. He's writing something revolutionary, ideas that will shake the world. But those same ideas will put him on a collision course with the most powerful institution of his time, the Catholic Church. What's he writing? We'll get there. But first, let's take a step back. The Church's worldview. Picture Rome, the heart of the Catholic Church. Priests in flowing robes stride across cobblestone streets. For centuries, they've held the keys to truth, blending God's word with Aristotle's philosophy. To them, the universe is a divine masterpiece. Every star, every sparrow, guided by purpose. But across the continent, in a dimly lit study in France, Descartes is about to light a match under all of it. The dangerous question. Back in his room, Descartes pauses. His breath fogs in the cold air. He's a devout Catholic, but his mind won't stop racing. He asks himself, what if we doubt everything? What if we trust reason alone? He scribbles, I think, therefore I am, a spark of genius. But to the Church, a ticking bomb. Why? Because it suggests that one man's reason can rival centuries of religious tradition, and that's just the beginning. A friend's warning, Galileo's fate. Descartes isn't alone in this intellectual storm. Just a few years earlier, Galileo faced the Church's wrath in a Roman courtroom. His crime? Saying the earth orbits the sun. The Church? They shut him down. Hard. In 1633, they forced him to recant, locked him under house arrest for life. Meanwhile, Descartes had his own book, The World, full of similar ideas about science and motion. But when he heard about Galileo's trial, he froze. He could publish and risk everything, or stay silent and live. So what did he do? He hid the manuscript. The world never saw the light of day in his lifetime. But Descartes wasn't done. A clockwork universe. He saw the world not as a divine tapestry, but as a machine, a giant clock ticking away, not guided by God's hand at every moment, but by laws of motion. Brilliant? Yes. But to the Church, this was dangerous, a cold, mechanical universe. Where was purpose? Worse, Descartes wasn't just redefining nature, he was splitting the human soul from the body too. To him, the body was a machine, the soul, something separate, a ghost in the machine. It fit Catholic teachings, but only barely. And when ideas are on the edge, they tip the balance. Banned. By the 1640s, whispers about Descartes spread. In Jesuit schools, where Aristotle and Aquinas ruled, scholars frowned over his books. He wasn't attacking faith. He dedicated his meditations to theologians, begging for approval. But to church leaders, he was too bold, too free, and boldness gets you burned. By 1663, Descartes was long dead. But in the Vatican, cardinals sat in a smoky chamber, flipping through his works. Verdict? Banned. His books landed on the index of prohibited books. Why? Too much doubt, too much reason, too much power to the individual. But the Church's ban couldn't stop what was coming. The ban didn't kill Descartes. His ideas slipped through the cracks, smuggled pages, whispered debates. Coffee houses buzzed with his name. Universities took up his ideas. The Church fought back, but it was too late. The Enlightenment was coming, and Descartes, he was the match that lit the fire. What is Cartesian thinking? A stormy night in 1637. Descartes sits by the fire in the Netherlands, writing something that will echo for centuries. Not just words, a way of thinking. They call it Cartesian thinking. But what is it? How did it give his biggest critics even more ammunition? And why, nearly 4 centuries later, are we still debating it? The experiment of doubt. In Descartes' time, truth was handed down by the church, the ancients, the king. He did something radical. He doubted everything until one thing remained. I think, therefore I am. That's Cartesian thinking in a nutshell. Strip away the noise. Trust reason. Build truth from the ground up. But there was a problem. The Cartesian circle. A dimly lit room. A flickering candle. A philosopher deep in thought. It's the 17th century, and René Descartes is crafting a foundation for knowledge itself. He declares, "My clear ideas must be true because God exists and wouldn't deceive me." But then, he claims, "I know God exists because my clear ideas tell me so." Wait, what? Isn't that a loop? He proves God with reason, then justifies reason with God. Philosophers pounced. Was Descartes trapped in circular reasoning? The debate erupted, and even now, centuries later, it refuses to die. The 400-year-old idea at the heart of today's most heated debates. Fast forward to today, on university campuses, in political forums, across social media, the intellectually curious debate: can AI truly think, or is it just a machine? Are we in a world driven by divine influence, guided by the invisible hand of God? Or is reality just a mechanism, a machine set into motion? And what if the machine itself is only a simulation? That mind-body split, first introduced by Descartes centuries ago, is everywhere. Neuroscience, AI, psychology, Cartesian thinking shaped the modern world. But did Descartes push it too far? The skull mystery. Picture a frozen night in Stockholm, 1650. Snow buries a fresh grave marked by a simple stone. Beneath it lies René Descartes, philosopher, genius, dead at 53. He came to tutor a queen, caught a chill, and that was that. Quiet, peaceful, the dramatic end of his story, or so they thought. Fast forward 16 years, 1666, Paris. Horse carts rumble, nobles in frilly coats chatter. Word spreads, France wants their hero back. "Bring Descartes home!" they cry. Soldiers trek north, shovels in hand, ready to dig him up. They break through the icy Swedish soil, pry open the coffin, and wait, something's wrong. The lid creaks. A gasp cuts through the cold. His skull. It's gone, missing. The body's there, bones neatly laid out, but the head vanished. Picture the soldiers, wide-eyed, muttering, "Who did this? A thief in the night? A prank? Something darker?" A mystery is born, and it's a wild one. Who took it? Why the skull? The seat of his famous mind. Was it greed? Superstition? A creepy keepsake hunt? The skull is out there somewhere, beginning a journey no one saw coming. Where did it go? Where does it end up? The world is left wondering as snow swirls around them. The soldiers stare into an unsettling sight, an empty coffin. A genius, unwhole. This story is far from over. What's next? So now, after watching, are you a Cartesian, betting it all on your own logic? Or does that looping circle of doubt make you pause? Was Descartes a hero of reason, lighting the way with "I think, therefore I am"? A heretic, poking holes in the old world's certainties? Or just a man whose mind raced too far from the norm? Or maybe his ideas barely scratched the surface of real truth and reality? Drop a comment below and hit subscribe. Part 2 is coming, but since you've made it this far, here's a hint. That missing skull, the one that held Descartes' brilliant mind, it won't be missing for long.